What's up, teammates? Right back at you. All right, so we know how defending who they say is to blame, and why they're forcing to blame in so many different areas. And I'm gonna kick the ballistics, man. Gardner Minshew's the one to blame. What did we learn today? We learned, and we're not even talking about what we learned from our team. What did we learn about football in general? The quarterback makes a very big difference. We learned that just by looking at the Carolina Panthers. Just look at how trash they were for the first two games. Everybody giving Bryce Young a pass, saying the kid's talented. He just doesn't have any wide receivers. He doesn't have a rushing game. His O line stinks, and it's not his fault that all the team is doing enough to support him. He's a great rookie. The whole world around him is messed up. We all say he's a great rookie because he's the first pick. Remember? That was what they called. And now he's stinking up the joint. And now he got replaced by Dalton. And everybody said it's a bad idea, including myself. And it's still a bad idea, whether Dalton wins it for him or not. He's not going to take him to the Super Bowl. He's not going to be around another 4 or 5 years, another 3 years, maybe. Maybe. But they're not going to win the Super Bowl between now and the next 3 years. Doesn't seem likely anyway. So that was a dumb move. But they won this game because they took the kid out and they got somebody who can run the offense. You got somebody who's a quarterback, somebody who can read the defense, somebody who knows how to work on timing. And that works for them. That worked for them very well. Now, when you look back at it, all the excuses they gave him doesn't really make any sense. His O line, I think they did get 2 sacks, but other than that, he was pretty clean in the pocket, clean enough to throw for 300 yards. His wide receivers stank so bad that one of them got 100 yards. Their rushing game was so weak that their running back got 100 yards. So apparently, the weakness of those other players is the reason why. No, apparently it's the reason why those players weren't performing is because Bryce Young as a quarterback wasn't able to put it together so that they could perform. So quarterback is extremely important. And if you just change the quarterback, you can change the whole direction of the team. Now, again, with the Carolina Panthers, we were talking about the whole change of quarterback, uplifting spirits, go out there and play like, your mama's life is on the line. It just seems like a fallacy to me. Although the numbers fucking support it. Whatever. The numbers support the fact that this is a good chance that the whoever the Panthers were going to get a victory, because after changes like that, the next game there's a large uptake. There's a breath of fresh air, and everybody starts going and doing their thing for whatever reason. That's what happens, and that's what happened there. And we were victim of it, but we were victim of a change in quarterback, and that change in quarterback was the difference between that team. So what did we learn? We learned that if we change our quarterback, we'll be fine. Okay? It's not over yet. Just because Minshew didn't do it doesn't mean it's over. Just because those of you think AOC sucks and can't do it doesn't mean that the season's over. I maintain, like I said in my last episode, as crazy as it is, maybe I just don't know anything and I'm a fan pumping it up. But this is still a Super Bowl team if we can get that type of play out of our quarterback. If Aiden can be consistent with the accuracy, we already know how monstrous Devontae can be. We know what Bowers can be. We've seen that happen in a quarter of a football game where Minshew was stinging it up. 1/4 of a game, Minshew came out and balled to the point to where we won the game against the defending AFC champions. So we didn't just, we didn't just lose all those players. They're all of a sudden off the team now. It just didn't work out this game. And you ask me, the quarterback makes a big difference. When you talk about the offensive line, if you don't know where your quarterback is going to be, it's hard for you to block for him. And if your quarterback gets ready to leave the pocket too soon, you really don't know how to block for him. So even if you feel like you're doing a good job, but he feels pressure from somewhere else, or he just counted to 3.5 already, and he's out of there. So it's hard for offensive lineman to block for that. You know, it's because he can get out the pocket, but then what? He doesn't do anything after that. It's not like he just extends the play so much longer that we able to bomb it all the time. But he does get his scramble hits. But it's again, you can't count on somebody being able to fix a broken play. You're supposed to count on getting the play right. And if your offensive line doesn't know what's going on, it's hard to get their job done. And if they are doing a good job and your quarterback just wants to leave the pocket because he feels like it's time, no matter what he sees, it's hard for that to perform. Okay. So that's why I blame Minchell for that. The running game. We all know Minchell's not going to go over the top. They know Minchell's not going to go over the top. They put their safeties 11, 12 yards behind the line of scrimmage because they're like, we dare you to go deep, Minchell. Who you going to do it? You got the arm for it? You got the fast people for it? Are people fast enough to catch up through a bad ball? Mitchell is the specialist underthrowing deep balls. That's hard to overcome as an offensive line and create running lanes when everybody on the team has been assigned a running lane with two people per gap. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're stacking it against the run. There's not much you can do against that. If you're not willing to go over the defense's head, why would you? And whose fault is that? That's the quarterback's fault. Who else would it? Oh, Getsky. Blame Getsky. Getsky's offense is not going deep enough. Getsky's offense is just 8 yards, 7 yards, and then there's not enough yards. It's just dumping it down, screen passes, dumping it down. You know why? Because Getsky is handcuffed by Gardner Minshew. Getsky has to get Gardner the ball and get it out of his hands as quick as possible because they're afraid of what he does if he has the ball too long. If he has the ball too long, he's going to have to run out the pocket, out to his right like he always does, and hopefully he finds somebody, and hopefully his ball is not too bad so that great receivers that we have will be able to catch and stuff like that, like Javonte did last game and Jacoby did this game. It's like, you really think that Gardner Minshew meant to throw those balls out to that area to where they could barely get to them when there was almost nobody around them? Anyway, this is not a go Aiden thing. This is a whatever. This is the truth of the truth thing. And that's the truth. Your offensive coordinator can only call the plays. He can't tell you where to throw the ball. And even if he calls a play that's 12 yards down the field for a first down, if your quarterback doesn't want to look at that and he's trying to take it down to a 5-yard out because he only trusts his arm to do that, there's nothing that the offensive coordinator can do to fix that. It's the quarterback that has to make those passes. Then the defense did bad. Defense didn't shut down the way they could shut down. They lot of yards, a lot of rushing yards in the air. Um, they got out, they got back in, they got overpowered, they got out, they got back in, they got they got tired. I mean, you know, give them excuses all I want to, and I'm going to. They didn't perform at all. You know, our secondary was terrible. Our line did a bad job, and I think that it just got worse as the game went on. I think Antonio Pierce, when he said that some players made a business decision, I think what he means is some players gave up. I think he means some players felt like here just this what do I get out of this? How much work am I gonna put in right now when we're down this far and there's nothing for me, nothing that I've seen to make me believe that it's gonna turn around. Not that it can't, not that it hasn't before, not that we still shouldn't try as hard as we can. But man, damn, here we go again. You know? If you have a job, I had a job in maintenance. It was a machine. What the hell? Anyway, it was a machine that used to help us produce a piece. I can't. It was like 30 years ago when that happened. Anyway, we had to keep fixing the machine because we needed this stupid piece. And every time we fixed it, it was breaking because we just couldn't figure out how to get it to work. And everybody's like, oh, it's broken again. But then one of us figured it out. It wasn't even me. It was somebody else. He figured out that one of the cows was too big. It doesn't matter how he figured it out. He figured it out and it worked. And we were like, yes, finally, we got this thing working. It was working for a good solid time. We were like, finally. And then it broke. Something that we thought fixed it, it fixed it, but it wasn't a good fix. It only held up for a second, and the machine kept breaking down. We had to get a new machine. The damn boss broke down and got a new machine. Our coach has to break down and get us a new quarterback. And that's all there is to it. And if you was trying to fix that machine, that's that offense, and you never got no rest as a defense, and you never got any hope as a defense, where is your motivation coming from, man? Is it all in your heart? Can you hold the heart strong enough? You should be able to. You're damn pro. But self-defeating is self-defeating. And when we're not performing and everybody around you seems to be not performing, it's a downward spiral. And it always, just like all downward spirals, start at the top. And at the top is your quarterback. Okay? So, say I'm over exaggerating, but those things are all true. And Minshew has fallen short of those things and can be held accountable for those outcomes. So he might still get next game though. That whole, first quarter of the season thing might still stick. Who knows? I don't think it should. Now I know there's a lot of people who don't think it should, but it's not about what we think it should. It's about what the triad who had this fool starting in the first place thinks. So we talked about who I think deserves fault, and it's Minshew. Let's see whose fault it wasn't. About that, we know that it wasn't Alexander Madison's fault. He needs to go in first. We need to take out Zeus. We need to put in Alexander Madison. And we need to let him find the holes because Zeus can't find the holes. Zeus won't follow his blockers. And he doesn't have the patience to find a hole He just has to go. He doesn't cut back very well. If the hole's not forward, he's not going to see it backwards. If he doesn't see if he doesn't see that his blocker's about to open something up, then he's going to go try to find a hole, but he can't find a hole, so he's just going to run into the back of somebody for 2 or 3 yards. It's not our fault that we're losing. Alexander Matson is balling. He's the only player with a score all 3 games, and he's a dangerous threat out the backfield. He needs to be starting. Zeus needs to sit. I don't usually like to say need, like I'm telling him what to do, but as far as success goes, if we're looking for success, we need to put Zeus down and put a Matt on the daggone field. We know it ain't Trey Tucker's fault, boy. Trey Tucker did all he could and a little bit more. He was the shining beacon of the offense this game with 7 receptions for 90-something yards and a touchdown. So he balled out. It wasn't his fault. There's no blame that can go on his shoulders. And, of course, last person I'm going to say is Aiden O'Connell. Can't go on his shoulders. He was 7 for 9 with a touchdown on one drive. Whatever. The only thing I don't like about that drive is it seemed easy. It was easy because they was in a prevent defense, so there was passes lanes to find. But the drive before that, they were in prevent defense, and Gardner Minshew threw a pick to the other team where no one else had a chance to get it but the other team. So his success shouldn't be discounted. He went down there, 13-play drive, and scored a damn touchdown. If Gardner Minshew could have put a couple of 13-play drives together early in the game, not scoring drives, even field goals, just long plays, long drives, so our offense could have got some good breath, some long wind, maybe things would have went a little bit better. Maybe Aiden wouldn't have scored as much, but he's pretty good at keeping drives long. Man, whatever. Hopefully, whomever we start next week has what it takes to beat the Cleveland Browns defense. Man, I hope Aiden O'Connell starts next week, man. We got to get past the 12-yard line or with our throws, man. It's just that simple. And Aiden does that very well. We need to get the timing of our timing rights better, man, because Aiden will throw it to you, throw you open, or throw it with anticipation. Gardner throws it once he sees you're open, and it's not as successful as if you were able to do the other way, because football is a game of moments and inches. You gotta stand up to the moment, and you gotta make that other extra inch. Anyway, I thought Minshew could do it, man. Especially after the first couple seasons. I mean, the 3-and-out was just a 3-and-out. I wasn't downtrodden about that. And then he came back with the touchdown. Like, of course we can do this again. We had hope the whole first half. I think we really did. We could have just gone down 7 to was it 14 at the time, 7-17 at the half, and still be in the game. Come out, make some changes, and we could have fought back into that game. We fought back last week. What I see happening when I was watching was just 3-and-out, 3-and-out, 4-and-out. No passing yards, trying to pass so there's no clock going by. And, man, a defense feeling like, okay, man, don't even sit down, dog. Don't even sit down, because you're going to waste energy sitting down, and because you're going to have to get right back up, because you're about to go 3-and-out, because we've been going 3-and-out the whole game since the first quarter. It's like Minshew can only put a half a quarter together. He put the first half of the first quarter together this time, and then the rest stank. Whatever. Let's get Aiden in there. Let's get A Matt in there. And I believe everything's going to change for the better once next game comes about. Um, we're going to be smarter about getting the ball to Devontae and Brock this next upcoming game. And it's not like everybody did a terrible job. We just didn't get enough yards out of the catches. So next week, hopefully we go to Aiden. If we don't, hopefully we can get Minshew to understand the playbook a little better so he can get with the timing and he can be more comfortable waiting for someone to get open and not feeling the fright feet as soon as he reaches 3.5 in his count. It can happen. I mean, can you count on him though, man? You can't count on him. So until he becomes someone different, which he can't, it's year 6. It's kind of late for that. We're not going to be. I don't see success coming with Gardner Minshew, man. It's not anything about him. I'd love to go kick it with Gardner Minshew. I'd definitely rather go kick it with him than Aiden O'Connell. Aiden's a square, dude. He's not my type of folk. But he got an accurate ass arm. Let's put that out there with the most dangerous weapons there are out there. I mean, what is this Minshew movement? I don't want to be negative. I'm just saying, we wish that we chose Minshew for the Minshew movement. He has 11 sacks in 3 games. Aiden had 17 sacks in 9 games last year. So we didn't get the movement. We didn't get the magic. We didn't get the rushing yards. And that's what we need out of Minshew. And if we're not getting that out of Minshew, let's see if we can get the accuracy out of Aiden. And let's not forget, when it comes to movement and getting out of the pocket and creating when the play breaks down, the reason we scored a touchdown is because Aiden moved out of the pocket and made a connection with a receiver who he has a connection with in Trey Tucker. And they know each other so well that he knew where to go, Aiden knew where to be, and that's where the touchdown came down. These kids been working together like a couple of sophomores trying to make a varsity over the summer. Just in the park at the gated community, all by themselves. Nobody else playing at the park because everybody else got to work. These two is just in the park working on routes and their accuracy and their hands with each other. And then we just throw all of that cohesion away, that familiarity, and give it to Minshew, and this is what we got for it. So, whatever. In the end, as an Aiden fan, this is the best thing that could happen to him. The absolute best way that it could happen. He has a chance to get us back to 500. He didn't have to take any of the flack from game 1, 2, and 3. Minshew stank it up in the last game. He came in and had a great drive, which gives hope to some of the fans. I don't need hope because I knew it was coming. So, he got a good last drive. He's coming up on a team who has a defense, but defense is not dominating as it once was. We still got the crazy. We got the killer combos with Brock and Adams. We got Jacoby and Trey who got off this game. See, and that's the other thing. We can still win if Brock and Adams don't get off because Jacoby and Trey could get off. Or in one game, it just might be Myers and Brock, the tight ends getting off. Or just Matt. We got a lot of people that can get off and win games with. And we could have done that with this game if we'd only sustained more drives. Longer drives gives the other team less opportunities to score, which makes it easier for the defense to stop them. This is all the quarterback's responsibility. If we can't get it out of Gardner, which 3 other teams haven't. Let's try to get it out of Aiden and see what we can get out of him for the season. Because we got a good half season out of him last season. So it's all right. It's all right. We still got some hope because even if you guys out there don't like Aiden, we know the Minshew thing, the Minshew experiment may be over. He may have the next game to prove himself. If he can keep us at 500, maybe he'll keep his gig. But bringing Aiden in and then bringing him right back out after success, it seems like a difficult move, kind of hard to justify, but you can definitely say I've already made this dedication and I'm not going to go back against that. So we'll see what we see when we see it next week. But keep your head up, man. The defense hasn't gone anywhere. It's the same defense that shut down Baltimore. It's the same defense that shut down Herbert, even though we got the loss on that one. We didn't perform today. We didn't have Mad Max. And it's not an excuse, but it's another reason. And if we can eliminate some of those reasons next week, I see a better performance. I would like to see Aiden, and I would like to see Alexander Madison. I think that would be a big boost for our offense. Let's see what happens. And I got the keys. Bandwagon's going to start. Trust me, because we're not going back to Minshew, and we're going to start winning. All right. So remember, can't win them all. Cows get dark. When you're looking for the bright side, come to the silver lining. Guru out.